Okay. I told Marley that I'd let Bernie speak on Sunday on behalf of both of us, but she wanted me to speak, so I decided that I'd go with the intimidating crowd and speak here. Discerning, discriminate, whatever. I have to admit that I've been a little bit in denial about this weekend. How is it that I have a daughter who'll be 12 tomorrow? Where is she?
Wow.
And who is going to make her bat mitzvah in just a couple of days' time, when I still feel like a big kid myself. The reality hit me in the form of an article my lovely cousin Phoebe wrote for the Jewish News. Women were interviewed on the reflections of their bat mitzvah. 1 decade on, 2 decades on, and shock horror, I was the 3 decades on girl. In actual fact, it's now almost 32 years since my bat mitzvah. And many of you were there then. And it's incredible that you're here to celebrate Marley's big weekend. Of course, there are very important people who were there then, but who aren't here now. But they are all in our thoughts, and I believe that through all she has learnt over the past few months, they are even more alive in Marley's thoughts today than ever before. I just want to propose a toast on that note to absent friends and family. And for the record, I'm drinking Bundaberg rum in honour of her.
That's your Queensland upbringing.
Jeez, that just went straight to my head. 32 years on, and much of what I learned during my bat mitzvah program still resonates with me, and I hope that Marley can say the same in 32 years' time. So, welcome to what is going to be a very exciting weekend for our family. We couldn't be more thrilled that you've joined us to celebrate, and we are incredibly grateful that you're all here. How proud my parents would be to see you all here. I'm not going to single anyone out because you're all as important to us as each other. It's been 13 and a half years since Bernie and I were married, and with the exception of the birth of our 3 gorgeous girls, we haven't had the opportunity to share a special simcha of our own with you all. So despite the excitement leading up to this weekend, it has also been a time of reflection and a little sadness. The sadness I feel is that 13 and a half years ago at our wedding, we were blessed to have both our fathers, my grandfather and both my grandmothers still with us. And while I am so thrilled to have Dado here and healthy, not a day goes past where I don't miss my parents and my grandparents who are no longer with us, my father-in-law and the rest of Bernie's family who I never met. Bernie and I feel strongly that as long as the lessons, traditions and values they instilled in us continue to be taught, practiced and celebrated, they will live on in our children. Their pride at seeing Marley embrace her heritage and becoming bat mitzvah this weekend would know no bounds. For now though, I'd like to propose a toast to my grandmother, who at almost 91 is truly amazing, who is adored by all of those who know her, and who has 3 great granddaughters who love and cherish her, and the time they get to spend with her. Dado, to your good health, happiness, and plenty of continued nachas from your grand and great grandchildren. To Dado. I'm still going, sorry, I'll be a while. Through reflection, I've looked back on the past 15 years or so, and despite the losses, I have realised how truly blessed my girls and I are. If the secret to a happy life is a happy wife, then my darling, you should be the most content man on the planet.
And you am, aren't I? And you don't know it.
For you make me the happiest woman alive.
Who wrote that?
Okay, hang on. There is not a day that goes by that you don't do something that makes me love you even more. That I don't think how truly lucky our girls are to have the most attentive, hands-on, loving, indulgent and perfect role model for a father and husband. You are completely perfect for us, and even though this is Marley's weekend, it could be a while before I have another opportunity to sing your praises, so hear me out. None of us could be who we are without you in our lives. Thank you for everything you do. For letting me work until 2 a.m. and then letting me sleep in while you get the kids ready for school. Thank you for instilling them a love of Carlton and taking them to every match. Thank you for being a maths genius and who can speak 10 languages so that I don't have to do Hebrew or maths homework. Thank you for being the patient one in the house so that I can fly off the handle and they still have a sane parent. Thank you for doing most of the schlepping back and forth to parties and play dates. Thank you for making me laugh every day and reminding me what it was about you that I first fell in love with. Thank you for sticking with me and loving me even when I wanted to escape me. Thank you for the cup of tea you bring me every night. And even though it usually tastes like crap, it is made with love. And that is good enough even for a tea snob like me.
Try tea next time.
Thank you for letting me do what I love and never complaining that I spend too much time in my studio. Thank you for being kind, thoughtful, loving, decent, devoted, smart, hilariously funny and affectionate. I only hope that in a couple of years, when 1 week out of every month, all hell breaks loose, and you find yourself thinking that prison could be a better option, you remember everything I have said and forgive us. Or, if your worst fears are realised, and our lady clocks don't sing, and you get 2 or 3 good days a month, and February is a complete write-off, remember that under all that female psychosis are 4 women who think you are the greatest man on the planet and love you enormously and unconditionally. Yeah! I love you. Bernie Hey.
Any response?
Bernie. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. That was a song he sang to us, to me at our wedding.
There goes my line.
But tonight is all about my Marley. That's right. My Marley is going to charm you all this weekend. She's going to share with you the culmination of months of preparation and the effort she has put in to reach this special milestone. Both she and Bernie will speak more about the activities she has done on Sunday, and Bernie will speak about the incredible young lady that is our eldest daughter. But I just want you to know that to know Marley is to love her. In the words of her teacher last year, she is one of the kindest children I know. She may fight with her sisters, but she is the first to reach out if one of them is hurt, and she has a sixth sense when it comes to knowing when someone is feeling sad or having a bad day. She is a loving daughter, a devoted sister, a fiercely loyal friend, a fun cousin, a very special niece, and a thoughtful and kind great-granddaughter, all wrapped up in this beautiful package. When my Marley isn't having a tween trauma, she is an absolute joy to be around, which is most of the time, and we adore her. Marley, you are strong and brave and fearless and confident. You are also fiery and spontaneous, creative and passionate. You love your life, you love school, you love your family and friends. You love animals and you love Carlton. You can talk underwater with a mouthful of sand. In fact, you talk incessantly, never stopping to draw breath, and when you're not talking, you're singing. And when you aren't singing or talking, you are making crazy noises. Marley doesn't just sit in a room, she fills a room with sound, and she always makes sure you know she is there. The thing I most admire and love about you is that you dance to the beat of your own drummer. You do what you want, and you never fall into the trap of selling out to fit in. You don't go with the flow, you do what's right for you. Remember how important that is as you venture into your teens, and peer pressure threatens your unique you. In Daddy's speech at our wedding, he referred to a fundamental philosophy that he and my father shared, that too much sport was barely enough. When I see you watching Carlton reruns, excuse me. When I see you watching Carlton reruns and screaming at the TV with Daddy while watching American football, or watching netball or basketball or athletics or swimming, I realise the apple hasn't fallen far from either side of your family tree. You and I, on the other hand, love to shop. And when we are done shopping, you love putting your creative talents to good use, and you can hold yourself up in your room for hours, drawing or indulging in our guilty pleasure, Lego. If you got your love of sport from your father and a little creativity from me, then you undoubtedly inherited your social conscience from my parents, who worked tirelessly for charity. And I know the part of your Bat Mitzvah program you loved the most was raising money for National Council of Jewish Women and hearing about the work they did. The lessons you have learned from this activity couldn't have been more evident than last week when you found $200 at Southland and you immediately handed it in, only to receive a call half an hour later from the very grateful owner. Shmuel, you are magnificent and wonderful. My love for you is infinite. My hopes for you limitless. Good luck on Sunday. I'm sure you'll be a star. Enjoy every moment. Mazel tov. Finally, thank you all for being here. I expect to see you all back in 16 months. Shane and Perry. Oh, hang on, now we've got to sing happy birthday. Then you can all go to the dessert buffet.
Everybody's going to be quiet because we're going to use the sound. You can be silent. How the hell was
You better come up with something.
Yeah, it's not work to do.
You can not
have to do that.
No, Molly.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that.
No, don't do that.
Okay, hang on.
Don't do that.
Oh, it's in here.
Okay. Have we got a camera on?
Yes.
Have you put it on video?
It's still on video.
Okay, everybody.
Do you want it off or?
Happy birthday song.
Wait, girls, just wait.
Don't play the song on the thing. We'll just show